And here's a first-time mom sitting on a clutch of eggs. Look at this, guys, another ovulation. And here is a much anticipated desert ghost clutch. Hey guys, I'm Kai from Lucas Landing Worlds. Hope you're doing well, and I have a ton of things going on here today, but what we're gonna look at is a clutch of eggs that's due to Pip, so we're gonna go ahead and cut those open. And I have another clutch that just hit the ground, so we're gonna pull the mom off and see how many eggs she gave us. I still have ovulations going on, so we're gonna take a look at one of those as well. But first, I wanna give you an update on my chickens. And when there's chickens involved, we gotta start with the clucking chickens. And here they are, and it feels like they double in size every time I look at them. They're growing, and that's important, and they're happy. Well, at least I think they're happy, but they would be happier if they had a bigger place to roost in, which is why I'm building a little house for them over by the side. And you can see most of it's done. I do have a few other things that I need to finish up, but it's getting there. Just need a little bit more time. Man, those chickens are getting big, and they are outgrowing that Sterilite tub, of course, because it was temporary. So I do have to put in a couple perches into the roost, put on a couple doors, and then I think I can open that up for the chickens to go in and start using it. And while they're inside, I think I can go and throw on a coat of paint as well as a couple shingles on top, just to make it a little bit more weather resistant. And when the weather gets colder, I have to figure out a way to close up all those windows and openings so the chickens can get out from the cold, get away from the wind. But that is for later. Right now, I say we go pull a clutch of eggs. Before I forget, I want to show you this pied het albino, and I think she's going into an ovulation, or this could be the tail end, but she's amazing. Just wanted to show this off to you real quick. All right, now let's get on to the egg pulling. All right, so I do see some white in there, so I'm hoping that is an egg, at least one. Let me go ahead and get some of these things out of the way. And this is a first-time mom. Not sure how she's gonna react, but usually she's okay, so. So I'm just gonna get my hand underneath. Make sure we get that tail unhooked without getting bit. Her head and her tail is in the same spot. So she's actually been sitting on there for a while. I saw her coiled up, but I let her go for a little bit, and we can see that she is empty now. So I'm gonna put her into a tub of bath water that I've already prepared. So while she's soaking, I'm going to go ahead and get these eggs into the egg box. Again, always being prepared. I got my straws this time. Just gonna cut these up into threes. So what I like to do, and I haven't done this in a while because the females haven't been laying, what I like to do is get all of these separated so that, number one, they're not sitting so high and touching the lid. And then number two, because if one goes bad, I can just easily remove one without disturbing the other ones. Also, it's much easier to pull the eggs apart while they're newly laid than to wait around until they're like really adhere to each other. So I'm going to do that right now. Now you see this one, it was really attached to it, and what I did was when I peeled it, you know, it tore a little bit. It didn't go all the way through. It's still holding moisture, but since it did pull a little bit off, what I'm going to do is just put a little piece of masking tape on it. So I got that tip from somebody named Bilay Rowie. He's up in Canada, so they do pronounce things a little bit differently, but he does have a YouTube channel called Mutation Création, so go ahead and check that out when you get a chance. So you see right there, I just put a little piece of masking tape. You can hardly notice it, but it does help seal it up a little bit. This way, you know, there's no chance of it drying out. or reducing the chance of it drying out. So these are going to go in the incubator. In about 55 to 60 days, these eggs should pip. The baby should be ready to come out, and at which time I'll give you an update. That was a decent sized clutch from a first time mom. And if you're wondering what male was paired to her, it was the Enchi Orange Dream Het Clown. So I'm hoping for some super Enchi clowns, super Enchi OD clowns, Enchi OD clowns. Well, basically any clown combo would be great. Now let's take a look at a clutch of eggs that are ready to be cut open. The pairing was a lesser pastel specter het desert ghost paired to a pastel desert ghost. So I should have a 50% chance of making desert ghost and desert ghost combos. So I'm going to go ahead and get that clutch of eggs and let's start snipping away. All right, here we go. This is a highly anticipated clutch. Why, you ask? Well, because I don't get to produce much desert ghost stuff. In fact, 2 of the females that I thought would go for me this season decided not to, so that kind of cuts my chances in half, which kind of sucks. But this is the first desert ghost clutch of the season, so let's take a look at it. And you can see we got some that pipped out. Can't really tell if they're desert ghosts or not. That one might be. But I am going to cut them. Obviously, this is a cutting video. But before we do that, because this is a het to visual pairing, half of the babies, statistically speaking, should be desert ghosts or desert ghost combos. But for fun, let's try to figure out what's the worst that can happen, right? And that worst would be a classic or a normal ball python, and what's the chances of getting that? So the way I calculate it is, first I look at the overall number of codoms. There's no allelics involved, there's no supers involved right now. So we have a pastel from the mom, we have a pastel from the dad, a lesser, and a specter. So a total of 4 codoms. And the mom is a visual, so no matter what, she's going to pass down at least 1 copy of the desert ghost gene. So that's almost a guarantee. But the dad is only a het, so we have to make sure we get the het part into our calculation. So het. Now, pretty easy to calculate now that we know how many genes that we're calculating. So 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So the chance of 1 in 32 chance of hitting a classic or a normal. On the flip side, there's a 1 in 32 chance of getting all the genes. So all 4 codoms with the visual desert ghost. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let me go ahead and get this all set up. So what do I usually do? I'm gonna take this out, put it over here. Don't need the straws. Take those out so the egg crate can sit flat. So now I'm gonna cut, all the goop's gonna fall into here. Well, since these are out, we'll start with the ones that have already pipped. And to be honest, guys, it's sometimes hard to identify desert ghost. When it doesn't have the pastel, when it doesn't have any kind of brightening gene, sometimes it's hard to tell when they're, in the egg or newly out of the egg. I know my pinstripe, I thought it was a regular pinstripe until it shed a few times. And after that, that's when I realized that it was a desert ghost, pinstripe desert ghost. Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm a little stumped here. I mean, it's bright, it's clean. I think this is a desert ghost. It's not a lesser. So you know what? It might be a specter. This might be a specter desert ghost. Just saying that because of the nice patterns. All right, so that's number 1. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a desert ghost. Number 2. I hate when they get their head stuck. It just makes cutting a little bit harder, but we'll get through it. So I'm gonna cut around, And then what I'll do is I'll make a snip towards his head, but not anywhere near it. So that will allow me to tear. There we go. And, so this one doesn't look like a desert ghost, but still a very clean animal. Let me just open this a little bit more for you guys. And these are definitely ready to come out. I mean, there's hardly any blood, any red. There's a little bit right there, but that's okay. So just so you guys know, the nipping the veins, if you do see any in the other eggs, just so you know, that doesn't hurt the animal at all. There's a little bit here actually, but you can see the difference. I don't know if you guys can see. I don't think the camera's picking it up. Yeah, there's a little bit of like dirtiness on this one, I'm gonna call it. You can see there's a little bit of dark pigment around the dorsal, whereas this one is super clean. So I'm gonna stand by what I said earlier. Desert ghost. Off to number 3. And this one's easy. This one's easy to cut because he didn't get his head stuck. Or she, I don't know. Bam! I think this is another desert ghost, although that's the tail end. Usually the tail end's a little bit cleaner. So we'll have to wait until this guy comes out, unless I can. This looks like a pastel. This looks like a pastel. Really cool. Like I said, it might be a little bit difficult to try to ID them when they're still babies, because you guys know baby snakes tend to be a little bit brighter, but then as they shed out a few times, that's when their colors darken a little bit, deepen a little bit. So, and the ones that don't darken and deepen are probably the desert ghosts. Wow, this egg is so full, I can't even get the scissor in. I'm gonna have to go this way. Oh, get stuck again. All right, so I think this is a normal. So we hit the odds, guys. 1 in 32 chance of getting a normal, and I think we got it. No, I'm serious, I think we got it. This is a normal. This looks like a normal to me. Oh no, you know what? It could be a specter. But the good thing is, anything that is not a desert ghost is a 100% hit for desert ghost, because the mom is a pastel desert ghost. All right, so now for the really fun eggs, because there's no head here that we can even peek at. So this is completely blind. Here we go. I wonder what caused these 3 dots. So this looks to be a lesser het desert ghost. I'm not seeing the visual desert ghost here. Could be specter as well. Not pastel though. All right. So strange, I haven't seen pastel really. I think maybe this one could be a pastel. This one looks more to be specter. Well, I shouldn't say that. That was a pastel. That's a classic. All right, so moving on. Last egg here, guys. Come on. Come on. Give me something that definitely looks like a desert ghost. Okay. So again, I don't think this is a desert ghost, even though it's a really, really clean animal. I see a little bit of dark pigment along the top, so I don't think this is a desert ghost, but definitely something that has pastel, probably specter as well. I mean, the chance of getting pastel is pretty high because it's on both sides. The mom and dad both have pastel. So no supers in here, no super pastels. All right, cool. So once they come out, I'll give you guys another update. So not the greatest of results from that clutch. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit bummed out, but maybe when they come out of their eggs, we can take a second look. Maybe, just maybe, there's a desert ghost in there somewhere that I didn't see. Still have my fingers crossed. So that about wraps it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching. Please share, and I'll see you guys next time.